Okay, good morning. We start now. We are going to work time under tension, but we're going to work time under tension in the upper body, moving down to the lower body. Typically, if we're going to open up the upper half of the body, I'll open up the lower half of the body first, like the hips and the quads and hamstrings. That way the energy of your shoulders have somewhere to go, and that's often the big mistake, is people just want to stretch the discomfort out of their neck and shoulders. But then it almost immediately comes back because they didn't take away the true issue, which is the lack of mobility of the hips and the connection to the hips and the core. The other piece that makes opening up the upper half of the body is a whole piece with time under tension. As you're stretching and you're feeling all the tension in the upper half of your body, the last thing you want to do is create more tension in your abdomen to stabilize. So we tend to turn it off, and then we turn off our abs and we let them go. We stretch open our neck, and then when we stop, we have to support a little bit with our belly, and that immediately brings the work back to our neck. So we're going to work time under tension, stretching the upper extremities, taking it to the hips, but we have to get the hips at the end. So if you're going to duck out early, make sure you stretch out your hips, or it's just going to create a big problem. Okay? First things first, we got to make sure you can kneel. So in order to kneel, we got to make sure your knees can bend. So we're going to start out by just grabbing a hold of your right ankle with your right hand. You're going to do this a little differently than a runner stretch. Oftentimes I see people at tracks doing this. We're going to bring our knees together. You're going to tighten your abs, and then you're going to thrust your hips forward. This will open up your rectus femoris. Woo. This will open up your quad. And now, time under tension. Keep your abs engaged. Hold your balance. Sucking your tummy. Now, try to get your shoulders level. Try to get your hips level. You're sucking in your tummy. We're just holding. We're just making sure we can bend the knee. All restoration of the knee happens when you can fully bend the joint. So if you can't bend the joint, the knee never gets a chance to rest. Push those hips forward. Try to keep your knees side by side. Keep the hips level. Abs are engaged. Suck in that tummy just for a little bit longer. And then we're going to move on to the sprinkler dance for those that remember what it was. Remember this thing? Abs are nice and tight. You're going to pump it back and forward. Try to have it go straight forward, straight back, and not out to the side or anything strange. It's straight back, straight forward. You're going to use your abs on this. You're going to feel a little pull into your glute minimus. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy and glute medius. Where you don't want to feel this is in your shin. So you don't want to feel that in the tibialis anterior. So you don't want to feel it on the front of the leg here. You want to try to keep work isolated as we now switch sides. You're going to grab a hold of that left leg. You're going to bring your knees together. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. Level out your shoulders, level out your hips. Abs are nice and tight. We're stretching, making sure we can bend our knees. In general, most knee pain is from muscular tightness. This is why just removing tightness as a component away diminishes knee pain a lot. Keep those knees together, thrust your hips forward, abs are nice and tight. Suck in your tummy. Smiles are up. We're breathing. We have to do a little bit of a lower extremity work to get to the upper extremities, or you're going to just be enduring being on the ground. Abs are nice and tight. Now you're going to do the good old sprinkler dance. You're going to bring that leg backwards and forward, sucking your knees side by side. So don't let your legs come apart. Keep them together as you do this, like you're trying to start a fire on your thighs. Abs are nice and tight, smiles are up. Don't let the work go into that tibialis anterior, that shin muscle. Like I said, you might feel this in your glute medius and your glute minimus, off to the side here. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to get another half of this. We got to get the hips to flex because we had the knees to flex. We got the hips to flex. So we're gonna do a forward fold. Your feet are gonna be parallel. You're gonna stick your butt out. Keep your abs engaged. You're only going as far forward as you can keep your spine straight. So keep your spine straight, keep your legs locked out. Quads are on, calves are on, abs are on, time under tension. Suck in that tummy. You can even put your hands on your knees to push your legs back to stretch open your hamstrings and your calves a little bit deeper. Suck in that tummy. We're just opening everything up. Keep your abs engaged. This is time under tension. If you feel this in your low back, you've shifted it into your back muscles, keep it in your abs. And remember, with all stretch and this whole class, we're trying to get the work in the muscles and out of the joints. So if you feel it in joints, that means your muscles are turning off. So turn your abs back on. Smiles are up. Keep your abs engaged just a little longer. Try to lower down with a straight spine. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. And breathing. And then we're gonna come back up. We're gonna go nice and tall. We're gonna counter stretch. Gonna go in the opposite direction, sucking that tummy as you rock side to side. Quads are on, calves are on, lats are on, abs are on. Don't clench your butt as much as you want to, don't. So this will give us enough of a stretch that we can go onto the floor. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Okay, so that should have warmed up your lower extremity enough to come into kneeling. We're gonna come into kneeling on the floor. You're gonna need your roller, your block and a ball. We're gonna do a few things down here, and while you're getting things, you might as well grab a strap. Where'd my strap go? Oh, everyone's coming now. So you will need a strap. We're gonna have the block and the ball. We're gonna sit on top of the ball that's on top of the block. The ball's gonna go midway between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Now we have to start time under tension because it is so easy not to when we're doing upper extremity stretches like I talked about at the beginning. So as you're sitting on top of the ball, make sure that head is over the top of your pelvic floor and over the ball specifically. Then you're gonna close up your rib cage. We're gonna do sit-ups first. You're gonna suck in your tummy and then release. Suck it in, release, and then suck it in, release. These are sit-ups, but these are sit-ups that are engaging your pelvic floor, so I want you to squeeze that ball like you're squeezing it to a cone. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Abs are nice and tight, head's over the top of the ball, smiles are up. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. This pelvic floor is so important. If you can do this, activate the pelvic floor and your abs, you can do something called the Valsalva maneuver. This will help protect your body when something's about to hit you or you have to lift up something heavy or you're gonna encounter something cold. You can do a Valsalva and it'll protect you. Or if you're in an airplane and it suddenly goes up in altitude, you don't have to black out. Keep your abs engaged. Keep that pelvic floor on. Tighten those abs. Just a few more. And on this last one, you're going to hold your abs in. Keep them nice and tight. Don't let them turn off. This is what the rest of this class is going to be about. Time under tension. You're going to take this strap, put it around your neck, and we're going to pull down. So you're pulling down on your straps. Your head's nice and tight. That'll pull your neck forward. What that's doing is pulling a curve back into your neck. And now that you're in this position, you're just going to start rolling your head and neck around. Because first part of opening up the upper extremities is to open up the neck and shoulders because the shoulders are more part of the neck than they are of the torso, everyone thinks, because it's attached to the torso. It functions off the torso only, but it's really dictated by the neck. So when your neck gets tight, your shoulders get tight. But here's the worst case, when your shoulder gets tight, your neck gets tight. And that shouldn't happen. You can have a tight shoulder and still have a very flexible neck. But it's when the shoulder tells the neck what to do, we have problems. So we have to break that relationship and restore what's supposed to be loose neck. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let your tummy shut off. That's time under tension. It's okay if you're cracking and popping. That's just things re-articulating and getting set in motion. Keep your abs engaged. You're going to tighten your abs so much that the cracking and popping stops, because we don't want to be in the joints. We want to be in the muscles. Tip that head back further as you rock. Because we spend all day looking down, looking at our smartphones and looking at computers that we seldom look up. Okay, now you're going to take that strap up. And you're going to do the same thing, just move your head and neck around. Jaw's relaxed. We don't want tension going into the jaw that we're trying to release out of the upper extremity. Keep your abs engaged. We're pulling all that energy down into your abdomen. Keep breathing. Keep your pelvic floor on. Okay, pull the strap back down again. We're going to start what I call milking the cow. You're going to pull on the left side of the strap as your head rotates to the right, and you're going to pull on the right side of the strap as your head rotates left. You're just going back and forth. You're moving your head around. This is creating increased cervical motion, especially of those lower cervicals. When you start slouching, those things start not moving as much. We need them to stay in motion, and we overuse the upper cervicals. Smiles are up. Abs are engaged. Don't turn off your abs. Remember, we're trying to protect things. And now take those straps up as you milk the cow going up. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in that tummy and you're breathing. So we're increasing cervical motion. We're increasing cervical lordosis. Lordosis is a curve in the neck. And this should cause the muscles in the neck to turn off. And remember, the deeper a muscle is, the more it's a stabilizer. The more superficial a muscle is, the more that it's a mover. And you're going to notice that the superficial muscles are now moving your neck again, and the deep stabilizers are starting to stabilize. That means that the overall tension in your neck should be relaxing as you're starting to restore normal function. Okay, keep the right hand high, left hand goes low. You're going to continue to rotate. This is an asymmetrical load. Move your head and neck around, see if you can get motion in there. You're still milking the cow. So all the innervation to your upper extremities come from the neck. In fact, all the innervation, your whole body comes from the neck, but mainly the upper extremities come from the neck. So we want to make sure the neck can move and there's nothing preventing normal motion before we stretch the upper extremities. Okay, and now switch. Left side goes high, right side goes low. Keep your jaw relaxed, get that rotation on. Keep breathing. The trade winds are blowing today, so all the kite surfers are out. Suck in that tummy. Do not lose connection with that belly. Okay, go ahead and just shake out your arms real quickly. Just get blood flow back into your hands because we're going to be using them again in a second. First, we're going to take our hands. It's going to be palms facing forward. You're going to take your hand and you're going to stretch your hand. Your elbow is going to lock out. And you're just going to pump your hand towards your body. It's going to be a little pumping motion. Yep, perfect. And then you're going to move your head and neck around. Keep your abs engaged. You want to make sure there's no portion of cervical motion that's preventing your hand from going backwards into extension. If you feel shooting down your hands, that means there's some kind of adhesion and we got to break it up. Just move that head and neck around. You can hold the spot. If you find a spot that's tight, you can pump it and just hold it. Smiles are up. Okay. Then we're gonna switch sides. You're gonna take that left hand forward. You're gonna grab a hold of those fingers, lock out that elbow, and you're gonna pump those fingers towards your body as you move your head and neck around. Smiles are up. Jaws relaxed. Just notice if there are any adhesions or entrapments. Get them out of there. Okay, shake out your hands again. Shake, 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 shake. Now you're gonna take that right hand out in front of you. You're gonna help it bend your fingers towards the ground so you can grab it from the outside. You're gonna externally rotate that elbow. You're gonna pump it towards you as once again you move your head and neck around. You'd be surprised how many neck problems are actually tightness of the forearms. And that's a weird thing about the human body. The light switch isn't always where the light is. We always think, oh, I have a tight neck, so the pain must be in my neck. Sometimes it could be in your arms, because this is that fascial connection. It could be all the way down in your calf muscles, which often is the case. Okay, we're gonna switch arms. Fingers down, grab a hold of it. Externally rotate that arm as you now. Move that head and neck around. Keep your pelvic floor on. Keep your abs engaged. Those don't get to turn off just because you feel tension in your forearm. We're trying to keep the work in the muscles. So if you feel it in joints, like it's excessive into your wrist, that means you even have to stabilize your forearm a little bit more. Keep your jaw relaxed. Okay, shake your arms out again. So your forearm should be relaxing now. We're gonna get one that we seldom get. You're gonna take your hand and you're gonna aim your thumb down. You're gonna take your top hand and grab a hold of it. Your thumb's gonna reach around the top of your hand. Abs are engaged, very important. Quads go on. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back, and then you're gonna pull your pinky to your nose. Now Annie, start over. Palms facing this way. So your right hand's this way. You're gonna put your left hand on top. Nope. They're just, yes, there you go. Now pull your pinky towards your nose. This will twist your forearms. We gotta de-twist the forearms sometimes because all day long we're working it. Pump it towards your face as you move your head and neck around. And you will feel tension in some of the strangest spots. You may feel it on the underside of your arm or your flank. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let your tummy turn off. This is time under tension. Okay. And then we're going to do the other side. So palm faces away. Other hand just goes to it. Yep. Thumbs down. And then your thumb's going to wrap around. And you're just going to pull everything towards your nose. Keep your shoulder blades down and back. Chest is up. Move that head and neck around. Especially if you use your hands for work. These arms can get so very tight. And then your poor neck will try to do the work of your hands and your arms. And that's where things just go sort of very badly wrong. Suck in that tummy. Smiles are up. Okay. Shake those arms out again. That means there's one more stretch we need to do. You're going to go palms up like you're holding money. You're going to take your left hand, reach around, grab your thumb with your fingers. You're going to externally rotate. So you're going to pull your hand out. Other way, Annie. Other way. Yeah, pull it out. And then you're going to bring your pinky to your nose. Same thing, shoulders are down and back. You're going to move your head and neck around. Ooh, each one of these can create a pattern in your neck. And we're trying to break that up. Keep your pelvic floor on, keep your abs on. By now your pelvic floor should be burning. So your hands turned out, you're grabbing underneath and you're pulling that pinky towards your nose. And then we're gonna switch sides. Your left hand's out in front of you. You're gonna grab under with your right hand, underneath. Grab with those fingers your thumb. You're gonna externally rotate and you're gonna bring everything to your nose as you keep your shoulder blades down and back and move your head and neck around. Notice if this creates tightness or looseness. Smiles are up. Really move that head and neck around. Keep that pelvic floor on. And good. Shake out those hands. You're going to take your strap now. How do I get out? Okay. You're going to put the strap in your left hand. It's going to go over the top of your head. You're going to take your right hand. You're going to grab a hold of the strap with your knuckles facing forward. And then you're going to hoist that your backside. Whew. Abs are nice and tight. You've got to keep your core on for this. And then you're going to move your head and neck around. Find out where it's sore and then open it up. Remember to breathe. Keep your pelvic floor on. This is time under tension, so you're keeping your abs on. You may feel fire, and that's okay. Okay, we're going to take the strap and now put it over your left shoulder. Your right shoulder. And then you're going to move your head and neck around too. Smiles are up. Keep that pelvic floor on. Keep your abs engaged. Okay, now, you're going to take that strap, reverse your grip with your right hand so your palm's facing forward. You're going to pull your elbow over the top of your head. So you're tractioning down with this right hand. So that elbow goes over the top of your head. You're keeping your pelvic floor on. Now you're going to move more around your body. This will open up your latissimus dorsi and your tricep. Keep your abs engaged. Keep that pelvic floor on. Suck in that tummy. Okay, good. We're going to reverse sides. So now you're going to take that strap into your right hand over the top of your head. Your left hand palm's going to face forward, face backward, Knuckles are forward. So it should look like this, knuckles forward. And you're going to pull that arm back behind you. We're going to move the head and neck around again. And we're opening things up again. You're seeing what the connection is to the neck and shoulders. The neck should move independent of the shoulders. But a lot of times the shoulders like to encroach upon the neck by bringing the tightness of the shoulders up into the neck, and then bad things happen. Decreased mobility in the cervical spine, that means decreased balance. That means decreased neurological flow into the hands and even vascular flow. So this is why we have to keep them separate and very mobile. Okay, you're going to take that strap and now put it over your left shoulder, and you're going to move things around. We're opening up something called the scalenes. The scalenes, there's anterior, middle, and posterior. And they're deep neck muscles. They should not be movers. They're stabilizers. And sometimes they can start moving. Okay. Jaws relaxed, abs are engaged. Don't let that tummy turn off. Okay, and then you're gonna bring that strap up over top of your head as now we switch the grip on our strap and pull your elbow over the top of the body to move and open up your flank, opening up your latissimus dorsi and your tricep. Whoo, it can be tight. Keep your abs engaged. Keep breathing. Keep that tummy sucked in. Don't lose time under tension. Okay. Go ahead, release the strap momentarily. We're going to come back into a forward fold. Oh. Just take some pressure off your pelvic floor. You can put your hands on your knees first. We're just going to go in this position. Your butt's sticking out. It should be super easy for you to engage your pelvic floor. So I want you to tighten your pelvic floor, tighten your abs. Suck in your tummy, release. Suck in your tummy, release. Just continue to do that over and over. Suck it in, release. Suck it in, release. Jaws relaxed. Tighten your pelvic floor, tighten your abs. Okay? Now we're going to do a full forward fold. You're going to straighten your legs out. Keep time under tension so your calves are on, your quads are on, your abs. That's your pelvic floor, lower abs, upper abs. You may feel circulation coming back to your pelvic floor because you somehow constricted it just by collapsing on top of the ball. We need it to be continuous blood flow. Suck in your tummy. Draw your shoulder blades down and back. Those are your lats. We want those on. We're going to hang out here for a while because our knees were bent for so long. But what we really did is we worked the pubococcygeus muscle for a very long time. And seldom do we do that during the day. Okay, we're going to come back to our knees again with our knees bent, butt sticking out, abs are nice and tight. First, we're going to regulate your blood pressure. You're going to tighten your pelvic floor. You're going to tighten your abs. Close up your rib cage, chest goes up. You should feel like your blood pressure is gathering. Keep your abs engaged. That's what's going to keep your blood pressure normalized. You're going to come up in the standing. If you feel dizzy, just go back onto your knees. Arms go over the top of your head. And we're going to just move everything around and reconnect. Don't worry, we'll be going back down on our knees because we're going to open up those extremities even more. Okay, here we go. We're coming back to the ground. You're going to have a seat on top of the ball. With the ball midway between your pubic bone and tailbone. You're going to take the strap and put it in your left hand. Your arm's going to be 90 degrees, 90-90. That's what I want you to start thinking about, 90-90. We're going to pretend we're marionettes, and what we're going to do is create external rotation. I'm going to turn to the side slightly so you can see. You're going to create external rotation of your arm. We're going to take it back. And then once again, you're going to move your head and neck around. But we want to keep it as close to 90 degrees. We want to create that external rotation, and we're stretching everything open in that shoulder and neck. Your smiles are up. Really externally rotate that arm like you're holding a tray in your hand back behind you. "90-90", so 90 degrees at the elbow, 90 degrees at the shoulder. Okay. We're going to do the other side. So strap goes in your hand. We're going to go 90 degrees, 90 degrees. You're going to pull it into external rotation. You're going to move your head and neck around. I'm going to angle more. So you're taking that arm back behind you, or that hand back behind you. You're moving your head and neck around. We're tractioning out what's called the brachial plexus. It's all the innervations to the neck, from the neck to the arm. Keep breathing, keep smiling up, keep your pelvic floor on. Embarrassingly, this next thing we're going to do, I am really bad at. So you're going to take your strap over the top of your head. You're going to take it back behind you for a stretch. And then you can take it back forward. You may have to take it wide if you're on the tighter side. If you're on loose, you can get it narrow. Keep your abs engaged. Go slow, time under tension. So don't just flop it back and forth, back and forth. Keep your abs engaged. Notice when there's a point where muscles shut off, and tighten them back up again. So you're going slow. This will help you with your butterfly stroke. Your smiles are up. And you can get fancier. You can lead with one side. Lead with the other side. But now you're starting to clean up shoulder motion that we just assume we have, and until something goes wrong, you notice that it's not there. And then your neck has to compensate. You should notice in a very short amount of time, things start opening up. You can take it side to side now, but try to take it side to side back behind you. Keep your abs engaged. Don't let your abs shut off. Alrighty. You can go ahead and put your strap down for the moment. You're going to need your lacrosse ball. We're going to come off the yellow ball in the block, or the big ball. I don't know why I said yellow, because yours guys aren't necessarily yellow. Okay? Come into kneeling first and just see how everything feels. You should have opened everything up. You should notice a huge amount of mobility in your upper half of your body. You should be able to move your head and neck around pretty darn comfortably, and you should feel circulation increase into your arms and your hands, because we minimize the constriction of neck muscles that prevent nerve and blood flow. Okay? So now we're going to take our legs out in front of us. You're going to take this ball and you're going to put it behind your left shoulder blade, underneath your shoulder blade, and you're just going to roll around. There's two things you can do. You can roll around just on the shoulder blade. And remember, the shoulder blade's triangular. It's primarily getting the infraspinatus, but you can roll so high you get the supraspinatus, or you could do shoulder ranges of motion as well as rolling it out. If you want to make it more intense, lift your head up. If you want to make it less intense, keep your head down. You could go the medial border of your scapula. You can go the lateral border, or you could go the superior border, but just move things around. You'll notice that this has a tendency, because this is a small intestine channel, to make you want to salivate and even feel a sensation into your jaw. A woman named Janet Travell came up with what's called trigger point therapy, and she mapped out all these muscles. And a lot of times the infraspinatus actually refer up into the face. Keep breathing, keep your abs engaged. Notice you wanted to shut off your abs because you're feeling tension in another part of your body. Pull it towards your center. Like I said, that's like finding $50,000 in the attic of your house, not being used. What would you do? You turn it into something useful. You wouldn't take that money and go, gosh, I don't need it anymore. I want to get rid of that tension of having this money. Let's light it on fire. You're going to put it to work. You're going to fix up the home. You're going to pay for bills. You're going to get that energy moving. Abs are nice and tight. Roll it around. Just get things really moving. Don't be afraid to get on there just because you're feeling pain. And just like I say when we roll out the foot, the pain that you're experiencing has nothing to do with this ball. It has to do with how you're using your shoulder during the day. So we have to change that too. Okay. Let us switch sides. The ball's going to go underneath your right shoulder blade. Roll it around. Notice if one side's sore than the other. If you have less or more control than the other side. Is the pain sharper or duller? You can lift up your head to make it more intense, or you can keep your head down. Abs are nice and tight. Don't let your abs shut off. This is a small intestine channel. That's why sometimes you feel a little bit nauseous doing this. Jaws relaxed, smiles are up. Abs are engaged. Remember, time under tension. You shouldn't feel a vulnerable joint. You should feel all the muscles supporting a joint. So you should feel muscles, not joint stretch. Abs are nice and tight. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed. As you now sit up again. For a moment, we won't need the ball. You're going to have your legs out in front of you. You're going to take your hand, put it thumbs facing down, so you're giving a down thumb position. You're going to bring that arm back behind your left shoulder blade. Okay? Abs are nice and tight. I want you sucking that tummy. Nothing's hanging out. You're going to lean back on top of that arm. You're going to bend your knees. And then you're going to bump your hips over to the right. And then let your knees come over to the left. Then you're just going to rotate your head left and right. We're opening up that cervical spine in terms of the tension in your shoulder. You're going to feel a lot of pressure in your shoulder. That means your abs are on super, super duper tight. Keep breathing. Jaws relaxed. Make sure those knees are stacked one on top of each other. That'll stretch out your flank and work your lungs. Smiles are up. Five more seconds. Keep moving that head and neck around. Keep your abs engaged. This is an asymmetrical load on your lungs, so this is a great opportunity to stretch out that right lung. Okay, come back to center. You're gonna roll all the way onto your right side, or left, right side, and then move your arm around above your head. Get the motion back. There should be no cracking or popping. Keep the muscles connected, connecting a joint into your body. So it's muscles working, not joint. And then we're gonna sit back up again. We're gonna pretend we're in the Roman Colosseum once again. You're gonna put your thumbs down. You're gonna bring that hand back behind your shoulder blade. And you're gonna lay back down on top of it. You're gonna bump your hips over to the left as your knees go to the right. You're gonna just breathe and move your head and neck around. You're trying to open up these scalene muscles that accidentally turned into movers. They are stabilizers. You may even feel it up into your jaw, that's okay. And breathe. As I've been telling you, COVID is a respiratory condition. So that means you want to be able to breathe, get air in and out of your lungs, so in case something goes wrong, like COVID, you're able to rehab yourself because you know how to breathe instead of breathing the way you normally breathe and then getting a huge percentage taken away from you with no means of correcting what's going on in your breathing. This is you stretching out your lungs. This is you ventilating your left lung more than your right lung. There's all sorts of things you can do. Move that head and neck around. Smiles are up. Keep breathing. Make sure those knees are stacked. Okay, then you're gonna roll onto your left side as you take that right hand into the air and move it around until it becomes yours again. Smiles are up. Okay, we're gonna flip over onto our tummies now. Your arms are gonna go out like you're on an airplane. Let me just see if I'm in the frame. Okay, good. Okay. You're gonna keep your arms out to the side like you're a good airplane. You're gonna turn your head to the left. Remember where your right hand is. Glue it down. Don't let it slide down. It'll want to move down. You're gonna keep it up. As you now rotate, rotate, rotate onto that right side, you're gonna try to get both your feet down. You're gonna open up your chest, and if this is as far as you can get, that's fine. In fact, that's probably better. Let's just all stay right here. Abs are nice and tight. This is gonna open up your bicep. This is gonna open up your pec. I want your abs to stay on nice and tight. This is opening up your right lung, so I want you to inhale. And it's opening up the anterior portion of your lung. And seldom do we get that because we slouch too much these days. Try to get those feet flat on the ground. Keep breathing. It's okay if your hands are getting numb and tingling. Keep breathing. Just a little bit longer. Good. We're gonna roll out of this. We're gonna come on to our center again. We're good airplanes. You're gonna glue that left hand down. You're turning your head to the right. You're gonna roll onto your right side. Keep that hand glued down. You're gonna roll so much so that your feet can go flat on the ground. You're gonna take that hand back behind you again. Just notice what it's like to breathe. I see that one strap is hanging over. That's a different color on the curtain behind us. I have to tell you a funny curtain story as you guys continue to breathe. So there's actually two curtains here. You see the silver one, but behind it is a blue one. You can see the strap of the blue one hanging over. And yesterday, Wolfie somehow wedged herself between the two curtains and got lost between the two and started barking like she had been interdimensionally shifted. Keep your chest open, keep breathing, keep your abs engaged. Open up that now left lung. And good, come back to center. You're gonna be a good airplane once again. And then we're gonna push back from here into a child's pose. Keep your arms out in front of you. This is gonna stretch, once again, your latissimus dorsi and your teres major. Keep your abs engaged. Just sink back, let your hips go back as far as they can. Glue your palms down and breathe. Don't let your tummy hang out. Keep it sucked in even though you're in this deep flexion position. Alright, come back up in the kneeling. You should have a very different relationship with breathing in the upper half of your body. So inhale and exhale. C3, C4, C5, 3, 4, 5 in the cervical spine, 3, 4, 5. The nerves that come off of 3, 4, and 5 keep the diaphragm alive is the rhyme. 3, 4, 5 keeps the diaphragm alive. 3, 4, 5 becomes a phrenic nerve that innervates your diaphragm. So when your neck gets tight, your breathing gets tight. When your breathing gets tight, your neck gets tight. We have just opened up breathing. So breathe. We're getting ready to start stretching out the butt because like I said, we gotta put that energy somewhere and we should put it back where it was. First things first, you're gonna take your hands back behind you. Okay, so once your hands are back behind you like this, I know we usually use this for sit-ups and there's a ball behind our back, but this time there's not, because we're going to stretch our arms. You're going to bend your elbows and push back. That'll stretch your forearms a little bit more. Keep your chest up, abs engaged, and move your head and neck around. This will stretch out your forearms. Keep those elbows bent. There's a deep bend in those elbows, so it's not straight like this, which is another stretch we're going to do, but we're first bending them. Smiles are up. It's just a magical day today. Looking out the window, watching how the clouds are changing. Straighten both arms. Do the same thing. You're going to move your head and neck around with straight arms. Really, how much during the day do you stretch out your neck and your arms? Probably very little because they do what they do and they do it well, so we don't take care of them. And that's a problem. As long as it's working, we don't maintenance it. Okay? Now you're going to switch your elbows over this way. You have to be kind of gentle on it. You're going to hold more with your core. Same thing. We're going to bend the elbows slightly, and you're going to move your head and neck around. This one, you're definitely using your abs more to protect your elbows. So your palms are facing up now. Yeah, good. Notice with your palms facing up how you're putting stretch into your forearms. Really bend those elbows. And then now you're going to straighten your arms out. Keep those hands, palms facing up. And you're moving that head and neck around. So you're finding out how hard it is to get rid of neck tension. Because neck tension involves arm tension. Go ahead and shake out your arms. Oh, you're gonna take your ball and you're gonna put it under your left booty cheek. You're gonna cross your left ankle over your right knee and you're gonna roll out your right glute max piriformis complex. Remember, deep muscle is a stabilizer, superficial muscle is a mover. So the glute max is a mover, the piriformis is a very deep muscle, and it's also very small. That's a stabilizer. When you reverse it, that's when you get pain down your leg, pain in the butt, pain in your knee, pain in your foot. Sciatic distribution of pain. Jaws relaxed. Roll this booty out. Remember, time under tension, your abs are on, your quads are on. We're working major muscles, we're working no joints at all. So you're not working your shoulders, elbows, or wrists, you're working your abs. Okay, then you can just switch booty cheeks. So it's gonna go under your right booty cheek, your right ankle crosses over your left knee, and you're rolling things out. We're doing this because we opened up so much room in your shoulders, we gotta now put that work somewhere, so the work has to go back where it's supposed to be, which are your hips. Jaws relaxed. Smiles are up. Suck in that tummy. And then feet back down on the ground. You're gonna take your ball now, small ball, your lacrosse ball, and put it under your left butt cheek. You're gonna cross your left ankle over your right knee, and you're rolling out your butt on top of the lacrosse ball. Remember, the pain you're feeling in your butt has nothing to do with the ball, it has to do with how you clench your butt all day long. Jaws relaxed, abs are engaged, no work into your extremities. Your core is doing the work. Keep breathing. Keep your abs engaged. This is all time under tension. So you're feeling extreme tension in your butt and you want to turn something off, and that'll be your abs. Don't do it. Keep your abs engaged. It's okay if you feel like a little numbness in your pinky toe, because we're going after that sciatic nerve. Smiles are up. Oh, yeah. Whoo, that is tender. I am clenching my butt cheek during the day. Okay, switch sides. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. Keep your abs engaged. Notice if it makes you want to pass out. This is gallbladder channel. So in Eastern medicine, this is gallbladder 30 we're rolling out. And gallbladder 30 is a lot of times for headaches and shoulder tension, ironically. So that really shows you the light switches and OS where light is. Because why would we open up our shoulder from our butt cheek? That or God is a comedian. I'd like to go with that one. How do I know God's a comedian? I love this. This is one of my favorite validations that God's a comedian. Over time, men lose
high range
hearing, meaning high-pitched voices, like a female's voice. Here's how I know God's a comedian. Women lose low-range hearing, like a male's voice. This is how God wanted us to communicate. Abs nice and tight. We can't hear. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Abs are nice and tight. Which also means you have to get the majority of your communication out when you're younger. Abs are nice and tight. Suck in that tummy. Oh. Okay, good. Go ahead. Take the ball out from underneath your butt cheek. We're going to do a forward fold. You're just going to go after your toes. Touch your toes. See what it's like. Pull your hips into the socket by tightening your abs. Suck in your tummy. This is not a relaxation. We're not looking for relaxation. In fact, I want your quads fired up. I want your toes pointing towards your nose. Abs are engaged, lats are on. We're gonna hold here. Here's another reason why I know God's a comedian. You know the 3 tissues that never stop growing on your body? Your ears never stop growing. Your nose never stop growing, and your feet never stop growing. How mean is that? Okay, we're going to come up. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. You're going to lift your chest up nice and tall. You're going to straighten out your spine. So you might feel a little cramping in your back because you accidentally opened up your back instead of tightened up your abs. That's okay. But squeeze those shoulder blades down and back, chest is up. You're just going to rock side to side. This is the way I sat on the floor as a little kid, as I was told Santa Claus was going to come visit my school. Santa Claus looked a lot like Mr. Mackenzie with a beard on, but now I know his identity. Abs are nice and tight, suck in your tummy. Okay, you're going to take this right leg, put it down in front of you. It's going to be a nice angle. And then you're going to stack your other one on top. It's called fire log. I'm not really great at it, so I have to use blocks because my arms are too short. You're going to lift yourself up nice and tall. You're stretching out what is called your glute medius and your glute minimus. A little bit your tensor fascia lata. All those muscles are opening up, all the ones on the side. Your chest is up. What's most important is a straight spine. So that's why you can use the blocks. You're going to stay here for a while. Start your breathing. Keep time under tension. This is a huge amount of tension because these muscles off the side are responsible for walk when we walk on one leg than the other. It has to keep our pelvis level so we don't fall over with each step. So these can get quite tight. So we're going to stay here and you're going to tighten your abs and we're going to do sit-ups. You're going to suck in your tummy and then release. Suck in your tummy, release. Suck in your tummy, release. Keep your jaw relaxed because that's not your tummy. Keep your eyes up. Because you also want to know where the horizon is. You want to keep your smiles up. Because it's Saturday. And it's beautiful outside. It's like, it's not sunny. It's actually overcast, but it's just kind of beautiful. Abs are nice and tight. Okay, then you're going to rotate off to your left. Keep your chest up nice and tall, suck in that tummy, time under tension. Smiles are up. Okay, now come back to center. You're just going to take your legs out, shake them out, shake, 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 shake. Get some blood flowing them. And then we're going to put our left leg down. We're going to stack our right leg on top. We're going to do this side now. Notice if one side's easier, notice one side's harder. You can use your blocks to keep that chest up nice and tall. You're sucking in your tummy. Time under tension. Shoulder blades are down and back. Your neck is long. Suck in your tummy. Good job, David. Just feel that tension load that's here and try to pull it into here, into your abs. Smiles are up. We're opening up those hips so you don't have hip pain now that we've opened up the shoulders. And then now you're going to rotate off to the right. Keep your chest up. Take those legs out in front of you again and jog them out. Jog, 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 jog. We're going to do 2 last stretches. We're going to push back over into a squatted position. You're just going to wait here. You can put your toes down and see what I'm doing with my blocks. You can put your blocks in any position. You're going to go into squat position. Chest is up nice and tall. You want to try to push your heels back. So you get a stretch into your calf muscles, because that's what we're starting, is a stretch into the calf muscles. Abs are engaged. Don't let your abs go. Okay. And then push into standing. Whoops, I forgot the microphone. You only need 1 block now. We're going to do what we usually do. If you get lightheaded, just go back into your squat. We're going to stretch out our calf muscle. Like I said, we have to put the space that we opened up in our shoulders somewhere, and it's going to go into our lower extremities. Abs are nice and tight. You're sucking in your tummy. Jaws relaxed. You're just going to pump your hips forward. Keep those feet parallel, knees bent. Smiles are up. We have to do these stretches, like I said, otherwise you're going to have low back pain from opening up your shoulders so much. Your heel's on the ground. Abs are nice and tight. Now you just turn it into a hip circle. Jaws relaxed. Opposite direction. Smiles are up. Okay, we switch sides. Whoo! Notice one side's tighter than the other. Abs are nice and tight, sucking your tummy. Shoulder blades are down and back. Just first feel that stretch. Notice, especially with your upper extremities being really open, how punctuated tightness in the calves are. But you can also see how the calves, if they're tight, cause you to round your shoulders. We're going to draw those shoulder blades down, back, tighten your abs, push those hips forward as you do hip circles. Smiles are up. Go in the opposite direction. When I lived in California, the 2 times a year you wanted to go kite flying. It was in the transitional seasons. It was in spring and it was in fall. Spring, because you had the light winds going on. In the fall, it was fun because the Santa Ana winds came on. So any kite was going to go in the air, and most of the time you weren't going to retrieve it because it was going to fly away from you at like 100 miles an hour. So you had to be careful of your fingers and things like that. So one year, one of my best friends, my childhood friend, and I decided to make a kite. We made a kite as big as we were. We made it out of bamboo, and we affixed it to curtain line rod. That was a mistake. And during Santa Ana winds actually do get up to 80 to 100 miles an hour. And we went out kite flying. And we thought we'd add an extra dimension, which was a skateboard. Of course, I never tried anything. I always had Greg try it, and I just watched Greg get dragged down the street. Okay, take your foot off the block. We're going to switch sides for the last stretch. We're going to stretch out your quad. You're going to put your knee on the block. I know we did it at the beginning, but we're going to do it again. You're going to grab your ankle of your left foot with your right hand. You're going to push your hips forward, and you're just going to do hip circles. Abs are nice and tight. As always, if you keep your abs on, your head doesn't move all that much. But if your abs shut off, your head starts wobbling all over the place. So don't turn off your abs. It's okay if you get cramps. Means you're alive. Go in the opposite direction. Okay, we're gonna switch sides. It should only taken you 2 steps to switch sides. Abs are nice and tight. Pull those hips forward. Keep your abs engaged. And then move those hips around. So I'm wearing my Grimsby pilchard shirt. Opposite direction. If you don't know what a pilchard is, it's sort of like a sardine. It comes every once in a while. But for a while in Northern Europe, it was a sole source of protein because they'd starve until the pilchards came. So there's gross, disgusting things. This is what got me onto the whole pilchard thing. I don't like pilchards actually, but I think I'm fascinated with them. Is there something called stargazy pie? It's pilchard pie. And when you make it, you want the pilchard sticking out in the shape of a star, and that's why it's called stargazy pie. And that's what started my fascination with pilchards. Abs are nice and tight, okay? Last thing, you're gonna lay down on your roller lengthwise. You finally made it. Butt at one end, head at the other end. Your feet are parallel, your knees are bent. Knees are over tops of your feet. First chakra is on, third chakra is closing up, second chakra is on, closing everything up. Draw your shoulder blades down and back, activate those lats to open up your heart. And then just let your neck and head relax because they're over the top of your pelvic floor. And you're gonna breathe. You're gonna inhale in and exhale out. Just notice what breathing feels like. Notice what it feels like to connect. We've opened up the shoulders. They should be super relaxed and it should be really easy to get breath in and out of your bodies. So the real reason I like pilchards, I'm gonna sit back up, you guys stay on your rollers, is it reminded me there was a time when we had great appreciation and gratitude. The pilchards came as a food source, and when it came, it saved people. It gave them another food source to eat so they didn't die and they could exist, and there was much gratitude associated with the pilchard. I once heard this woman, she was Native American, and she was talking about how grateful she was that a tree produced fruit and what a gift it was. That this tree took the nutrients from the soils, that the tree took the nutrients from the sun, that this tree processed and made this fruit that she could pick off the vine and she could taste, and it had all sorts of amazing flavors. I see how often I take things for granted and I forget, and I don't appreciate the wonderful things I have. The flavor that still blows me away is a tree-ripened mango. There's nothing like it. But how many times did I not give thanks to the tree that produced it, to the life cycle that created it, and that something greater is involved in it? And I just said, this is my mango, it's pretty good, and I'm just gonna go on my day. But instead sat there and taken in the appreciation for the whole cycle that went on. The earth, the air, the light, the water, and something very divine involved in all of it. So I want you to breathe until you can breathe the sweetness of the air. Especially on this island, the air is so sweet and so floral. And really, what did we do to deserve such sweet smelling air? Just give great thanks to the air that you're breathing. There's so many images on the news today where the air is filled with disease that we forget to give thanks to the air smelling of plumerias, pucana, all these different flowers that just are extraordinary. Fruits. So notice if your breath is getting sweeter, that you can detect it, that you can love it, and most importantly, you can say thank you. So on behalf of Maria and me, we thank you for your energy, your life, your presence. And I wish I could smell you guys. But that's for another day. So thank you and namaste.